I'm going to show you how to create photorealistic fabric, cloth, and leather materials. So here I've got 4 different material orbs that we'll be recreating in D5, and I've got some sample images of what that should look like. So these are 3 different materials that I've pulled out. We've got a cloth material, so you guys are all used to this, where it's kind of like bumpy and, a little rough to touch. We've got a velvet, which is very smooth to touch, almost has a little sheen or shine to it. And then we have leather, right? Our iconic leather sofas. They could either be stitched or just like pure rawhide. But anyways, I want to show you the settings I use to recreate these. So I'm using a D5 sample scene, and I'm going to hop into this sofa's material. Any great material starts with beautiful texture maps. So what I'm going to do is go over to one of my favorite resources, and that's ambient CG. So check this out. If you've never used these guys before, they're free, they're great. You can download materials right here, and they give you the texture maps, which can then be slotted into here. You don't need to recreate the wheel. All this stuff exists here. There's no reason for you to manually create this. Obviously, if you have a material sample and it needs to match that, create the diffuse map, and then you can actually use the AI tools to generate all the other maps. But anyways, I've got this resource here. Let me load in the fabric materials. So when you unzip the folder, you're going to get a bunch of different textures, and this will vary, from vendor to vendor. But most importantly, the base color map is going to want this guy. So I'm going to hit open, and you can see it's kind of beige because of the base color override here. If I were to just remove that, it's now more of a whiter tone. I can darken it with this, and there you go. Little pro tip, if you didn't know this, you can actually change the color map right here. That's what this more settings button is. So you can actually darken it or lighten it directly there. So let me just zero everything out. All right, great. So then next is the normal map. And the normal map is really important because that's what's going to show us all the little like bumps and the divots in the material. So I'm going to go over to normal, and I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab the DirectX one, which is DX. The other one is GL. It's not going to make a big difference, but it's better to be correct. And now you'll notice if I crank this guy up, we're beginning to see a lot of those nice little details. So watch this. If I were to go to this camera, I get a nice closer view, and we can see that, there's portions that are higher and lower, right? If I were to reset this to 0, it's going to look flat. And that's not great because in the real world, you do feel that texture. Would I leave it at 1? Probably not. I'd probably go 0.5 just to get some of that texture out. Again, my point is if you're not using all these slots, your material is going to suffer a little bit, right? So then I'm going to go to roughness because I know I have a roughness map here. I'm going to go here, and this is going to control the sheen, right? So what's shiny and what's not, right? If I go down, it's going to be super, super shiny, which isn't realistic. It's not a mirror, right? So I'm going to go something higher, somewhere right around here. And I'm paying attention to the light here. I want the light to kind of wrap this sofa. If I go too high, it's completely flat. It's almost like a tire at that point. There's no sheen. But there are some fabrics that aren't going to have a sheen, right? So pay attention to the reference image. That's why I pulled these out, right? So I noticed that there is a little bit of a sheen, and that's what I'm recreating. So that's why I'm going to keep that here. And then you can obviously play with the specular highlights to dial that in. But most importantly, I am in the cloth domain, right? There is the custom domain, which many of you probably create your materials, which is totally normal, but there is cloth, and that gives us some extra functionality. One of them is the opacity map, but we don't need that. We don't need this to be see-through, right? What I actually care about is the fall off. Now pay attention to this. The fall off is that sheen I'm talking about. Just follow the corners right here. Look. This is controlling how much the light is coming through. If you're an Unreal Engine user, this is like the Fresnel parameter. But this is what I'm talking about. We want a little bit of that. We want the light to hug the sofa. So this looks very similar to my reference image. And I have this at 3. This is not a metallic material because it's a sofa, right? So leave that at 0. Then there's ambient occlusion. So this is going to help give us some more realism if the material supports it. It's going to add some shadows in the little divots. But right now it's at 0, so we don't see anything. If I crank this up, we're going to see just some subtle addition. It's really, really subtle. You can see there's a lot of white on the map, so you're not going to see much of it. I'm going to leave this at like 0.5. I don't want to go overkill. But you can see I've got a nice, beautiful material here. I can see the divots, right? I can see the light hugging the material. This is what it should look like. So this is beautiful. I'm happy with this. If I want, I could save this to my local library right here. But, you know, I want to show you how to make the other materials. So I'm going to hit this button right here, reset, and this actually resets all the material maps to what we were dealing with before. So I'm going to go back here and let's work on the other materials. So I'm going to switch from that fabric to a velvet. Okay. I'm going to grab the color. Okay. And the base color is what's overriding everything here. Just make sure that this is 0. It has no saturation. That's why we lost the color. There we go. And now I'm getting that color right there. So again, normal. I'm just plugging in all the maps. I'm just going to switch here. Okay. If you have a solid naming convention, you can actually use this. If you've ever seen it before, batch import PBR textures. If I click this, I can actually specify the folder and I can select everything and then hit open. And then based on the name, it'll fill this in. So that's a nice little pro tip. It saves you some time if you don't want to manually do it. Honestly, I get a little paranoid with this, and if I'm making the materials myself, I'm not going to meet the naming conventions needed. So sometimes they're a little off, but this seems to have done everything correct. That looks about the same. So this worked really, really well. Again, you have that to simplify things. So with the velvets, the sheen is going to be a little bit higher than the other materials, and that's where this fall off is useful, as well as our specular, right? This is going to give us a little bit more control over all that. So I'm going to fine tune this a little bit. And probably what I would do here is actually turn on triplanar, and I just shrink the texture just a little bit. I'd probably go to 2 just to make it a little bit smaller. I didn't see too much of a difference, which makes me think this is using an individual UV. So if you've never used this before, what this is saying is I want this base color map to have its own UV scaling, meaning you can have a normal be larger and you can have the base color map be smaller. Well, why would you do that, right? Think of, this is a good situation, right? The base color map is just this salmon looking velvet color, but the actual gridding is coming from the normal map. So I can actually say I want this to be bigger because I want to preserve the scale or the look of the salmon looking base color map. Useful for like bricks, tiles, anything that's repetitive like this. So if I were to change this, to 2, we're seeing that that's changing as well. If I uncheck all of these, it's going to use the scale that I applied here, right? So now if I go back to 1, all these are going to change at the same time. And I did triplanar just to fix any weird UV seams around the edges. But anyways, that's what that guy's for. So then I'd probably leave this at about 1.5. I would just check that, make sure that's all off. Okay, perfect. And now I've got something that looks velvety. I would play with the fall off a little bit because you all know, it's got a super crazy sheen to it. And let me back out a bit. Yeah, here we go. And if I were to match the reference image, which is like that green color, I would just go here. And I do something like that. Just kidding, it wasn't even green. It was like a blue color. So let's go this way. Okay, and then I can darken it and add some more saturation to it. So there you go. So that looks like our velvet and that looks beautiful. Now let's go on to the leather. So I'm gonna hit reset again. Okay, let's go back to map, base color map, and let's load up the leathers. And I did 2 types of leathers because again, I wanna show the importance of the maps in generating detail and realism. So this is like a simple rawhide leather. I could actually just do the batch import just to simplify things. Select all these guys, hit import, and there we go. I just got to make sure that all this is changed. It seems like the previous user just had everything at some desaturated values, so I'm going to fix that and actually want this to be a little more orange. And just because I'm paranoid, I want to make sure all this is fixed because I don't feel like this is working. Oh, because because I used the velvet one, right? It would help if I selected the batch on all the leather. Okay, my bad on that. All right, I'm gonna hit open, and there we go. That looks much more like leather. There we go. Perfect. So leather in general doesn't have a crazy normal map, at least in the rawhide version. But what it does have is, you know, I kind of say it's like it looks wet in a way, where it's got a high sheen because of, you know, the conditioners they put on the leather and everything. So that's going to be controlled by our roughness. Obviously, we've got our roughness and our specular. I don't think this should be too high. You can see we're getting some really nice variation in here, and that's driven by the roughness map here. That's why it looks all, you know, broken up. And going back to the individual UV thing, if that didn't make sense before, watch this. If I change this to 3, we'll see that this is going to start tiling some more, right? So let me do 10 and it'll tile some more. But now this shiny pattern hasn't changed, but the actual texture changed. So again, that's the benefit of using that. But, you know, I want to try and find the sweet spot. I think 3 is like a good spot. Anyways, I think this is a little too shiny, right? So I'm going to lower the fall off just a bit. So this, going back to our example here, looks more realistic. It doesn't wrap the whole surface, right? It's just the highlights, which we're getting on the edges here, which is really nice. And I would just go and triplanar all this just to make sure that's all fixed. So this was, you know, typical rawhide. Let's go back to the stitched version. So I'm going to go and, you know, I don't even need to reset it. I'm just going to batch import, and I'm going to make sure I go to the stitched leather, and I'm going to select all these guys. And you may have noticed that I've been ignoring the displacement map. Well, the reason I'm doing that is if I were to use the displacement domain, this guy right here, I lose the fall off. And like the whole point of the cloth domain is to have that fall off. So you need to pick or choose. Do you want the displacement? Do you want the cloth? Anyways, just side note, if you guys are like enjoying this content and you like hearing me rant, I highly recommend joining the waitlist of the new masterclass I'm working on. Link is in the description. We're going live mid-March, and I'm literally brain dumping 15 years of experience into this. So if you like me and you like the content, go sign up. Anyways, let's move on. So batch import, I'm going to grab my stitch leathers. I'm going to select all these guys, and I'm making sure I'm in cloth. And there we go. All right. So now my cloth doesn't look as good as before because there's a couple things going on. There's the scaling, and my normal isn't giving me enough depth. There we go. This is why it's important for you to have the maps, right? If you don't have the maps, it will be flat. But Andy, what if I don't have the maps? This is what I was saying before. You have AI. Use AI. It'll basically look at this map and it'll generate it for you. And if you don't believe me, which would be weird, right? Let me delete all these maps. And I'm right clicking to delete. Watch this. I can hit AI. It's going to look at this, and to the best of its ability, it will generate the maps. But nothing's going to beat, you know, going to like Substance Painter or Substance Designer, you know, tools like that where you can actually bake out materials. That's where all these are coming from. If you guys don't realize that, it's actually a fantastic tool. But you basically connect a bunch of nodes. It's all procedural, and then you can bake out, you know, a JPEG or a PNG of each of these materials. And that's how all these vendors are generating it. You know, to some degree, that's usually what's done. People don't really go the old-fashioned way of like doing this in Photoshop. It's too time-consuming, too clunky, and we have modern tools for this. So anyways, let's pretend like I've grabbed this image off of, you know, a website, and I need this sample to be created into a material. You see, we got the stitching here, right? And the stitching's not bad. You know, let me zoom in. It's not bad by any means, but, you know, I thought the roughness map that I had before was a little bit better. I don't have as much, you know, variation. You know, stitching is totally fine. This, again, if you had nothing, this is a really good start. And just to point out on the AI front, if your, you know, your default texture wasn't super high res, use the AI texture enhancer. You can make it Ultra HD, and you can make it seamless. So Anyways, I'm going to go back and I'm going to batch import the stitching because I really like that. Look at how detailed this map is versus this one, right? So I'm going to hit open, and there we go. So we get that variation. I'm going to bump up that normal. Yeah, you see how, like, if you didn't realize before, the normal before, it just looked like it dropped down where the stitch was. But this actually shows that the material is like being pulled down, which is what you would see, when you've got something sewn down, it's being, hugged down. And if you have no idea what I'm saying, let me zoom in some more. Look like right here. You see how it's like making a little valley, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So the other thing that's going on is this roughness map. And I said I liked it. It's just because of the UVs, I would probably tweak this. I'd probably make it like, oh, actually, I don't want it to be individual because it's following the stitching. It's not a unique roughness. So then I would go triplanar. I wouldn't use UV randomizer because this will happen. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's able to rectify this, which, it's not the end of the world. I probably wouldn't use this material on this sofa anyways. The point is, how all these maps come together to create a beautiful material. So anyways, pay attention to what I was just saying about, like, is the map unique or not? Because that's what's going to affect whether or not you do triplanar or you do individual, right? So pros and cons to all this. But again, you need to tweak these maps or everything's going to look flat. Like if I did 0 there, 0 there, like this doesn't look like stitched leather, but something like this does, right? And this didn't take much time. We found the maps online. We were able to recreate them. This is what they were advertising. Obviously the color's a little off because of my base color here and everything, but it's pretty easy to bring all this stuff in, especially with the batch import. Like, this is a huge time saver, and I feel like nobody knows about this button. Anyways, I can't stress enough. Make sure your maps are there. This is what separates a good material from a bad material. A good material, you go in there, you fine tune everything, you have your reference photo, does it look alike? Is it similar? That goes back to the whole fall off conversation. Are we matching the properties of the real live thing? So this is a tool called PureRef. What's cool is, like, you can actually set it to always be above your apps if you want to work and always look at it. And it can automatically collage and everything. It's amazing. And I think it's free, or I paid like $10 for it. Anyways, I'm not sponsored by them, but if you guys are watching, sponsor me. I'm kidding. Really useful. That's really it for this video. I just wanted to explain how to make more beautiful materials, especially with the fabrics. Fabrics can be tough if you're not following all, like, the PBR characteristics of it, and not having a reference image, or using great resources like Ambient CG, right? So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I always answer the comments. And sign up for the wait list. It literally costs nothing. I'm going to be sending, some great information out. We'll be doing a webinar in a couple weeks. I can't share too many details about that, but it's coming. And if you made it this far, please subscribe to the channel. Really helps out. We've seen some, like, fantastic growth. So thank you again to the community for supporting me and everything. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. And if you have any video ideas, drop it in the comments. I always need ideas. This was actually suggested from somebody in the community. So thank you to them. See ya.